Hi everyone. Right, just thought to do a bit of a review of my Merida 2014 Merida Scultura 4000 that I've put some upgrades on. The bike came with 105, but actually came 5800 11 speed. It actually came with a RS-500 chainset, which I've, as you can see, switched over to a 105 5800 chainset because I just love the four arm spider it's got on it. The RS-500 was a compact. This is a compact as well, 5034. It also came with a different sort of fairly cheap brake set, so I've swapped those over to 105 5800 as well. I just bought the bike from Treads when they were discounting them just before they were getting their 2016 stock in, because it was such a good price. And I went for the 4000 model because I don't need anything more than the 105 on the basic 11 speed. I don't need Ultegra or Durace or anything like that. I'm not racing on it. I'm a leisure cyclist. So, but main thing I went for it because of the fact that you get such a good frame. The frame is such a good looking frame. I feel the way it just flows off the back there, the head tube. Now my bike before it had been an 1.125" top and bottom sort of bike. So this is a 1.5" at the bottom up to 1.125", full carbon fork. Now the frame weighs a kilo, and I think the fork is probably about between 300 350 grams. So it's a nice light chassis to get started with. So it's a really good package to be able to gradually upgrade if you want to do that. This is the same frame set that they were using on right the way through to their pro level bike, and they changed it, I believe, in 2016 to the 9000 series, which is a much shorter sort of head tube for the pros more than anything. As you can see, the wheels are different. I've put Cosmic carbons on it, which I really love. If you're somebody who wants a good budget aero wheel, and you're not somebody that is strong enough to be going above 25 miles an hour as an average, which I'm certainly not, then these are perfect. They make a lovely noise because they're actually similar to the old Bontrager ACCs. They're actually an aluminium rim, Mavic aluminium rim with carbon fairing. So you can see the spoke there goes into the fairing. Now they're not sort of the elliptical shaped sort of type of carbon wheel that you get these days, where the tyre sort of goes there and then the rim goes wider and then it sort of tails off again. These are just a straight sort of teardroppy type looking sort of design. So they're a little bit more sort of noughties generation rather than sort of the latest tech, but that's one of the reasons why they're normally the price that they are. I think they're about 1700 grams, between 1700 grams as wheel set. Now I've kept the ratio on the gears exactly the same as it came from the factory, so it's 11/28 on the rear, 50/34 on the front. Things I've replaced also are the bars. I've put my own carbon bars and stem on because I like a shallower drop bar, but that's just to my personal preference. There was nothing wrong with the Control Tech finishing kit that you get with this bike. The Control Tech stuff's really good. I've left the seat post in there, as you can see. Comes with aluminium bars and stem. Now this is a small medium. This is a 53 in their sizing, which is I believe on mine a 54.5 top tube length. That's centre to centre, real sort of horizontal, not the sloping, but actually truly horizontal. So it's always a good idea to check out the different geometries before you get a bike. Now, this has got a slightly longer head tube than I used to running, so you can see I've only got one 5mm spacer on top there, whereas my previous bike I had probably about 25-30mm. So the design of this is more of a performance style fit, that's what they call it, and I really like it. I mean, it's perfect for me, very comfortable bike. Merida used these flax fibres on the seat stays to make it very comfortable. You've got some big beefy chain stays to for the rigidity. It runs a standard shell bottom bracket, which is terrific. Lots of people have issues with BB30s and 60s and all that rubbish. This is a 68mm shell bottom bracket. Whack, you know, whatever you want in there with whatever chainset you're running, and you're away. I love the simplicity of it. Put my own saddle on it, which is a specialised toupe or toupe. I don't think there's an accent, so it's a toupe. Does the job for me. Very responsive bike. Had many happy miles on it. Don't intend to get rid of it anytime soon. I've got an out front K-Edge XL for my Garmin. Always run front and rear lights, flashes, no matter whether it's light, dark, wet, dry, sunny or whatever, just to be seen. I've also got a stages on it, 5800 105 stages, which I like a lot. I did have a quark on it before with the rotors set up. Didn't really, to be honest, didn't really look that good on the bike. The quark was a great piece of kit, but it was getting on a bit in years. Decided just to go to a stages, just to keep a normal looking chain set on this side rather than a massive looking bit of gubbins on the Spider that kind of aesthetically didn't look that good. Call me a tart if you want, but I just like the aesthetics. The 4-arm Spider on that 105 looks great in my opinion. Right, downsides. There's only really a couple. With any internal cable bike, you're going to have interesting time when you're changing cables. I've replaced the inners on this. Haven't had to do the outers yet, but the inners, no problem with the rear mech. However, if you're going to replace an outer cable on the rear mech, you're going to have to take out the bottom bracket, because it actually goes over the top of the bottom bracket, the routing for it. So be aware of that. I had a little bit of an issue replacing the front mech cable. It has a red sheath to it that runs down the inside, which also is kind of packed with sponge to stop it rattling. When I pulled the old cable out, it seemed to the plastic, the red plastic, seems to perish or go brittle. Snapped part of that off, so it made threading and retracing the new cable back through a bit of a pain. But maybe I was just being a bit ham-fisted, I don't know, but that was a bit of a pain. Had to take the bottom bracket out to then rethread that through, but got it done. It just took a bit longer than really a lot longer than it would have done with a traditional front mech cable through an outer setup rather than an internal. My one big gripe that I have with this bike is only really in the wet. Now, the design of it is really good in terms of Di2. If you want to run Di2, they even give you a mount for the battery, but unfortunately in the wet, can you see there's a plug under there? Okay, now whenever I clean the bike after a wet ride, I don't know whether it goes in, the water gets in from the top of that routing there for the front Met cable, or comes down the seat post, or in through those holes in the top of the chainstay, or wherever it comes in. But I get a lot of water build up when I take out that cap, that grommet. I get a lot of water that comes out of there, and that is really my only gripe with it, because there's a huge amount of sand that builds up in and rubbish that builds up in the bottom bracket, around the bottom bracket. And that's really the only one sort of little bit of gripe that I have with this bike. Everything else is superb. I love it to bits. Things I would say, if you're going to run aero wheels, try to run a soft pad, or effectively any rim brake bike. If you're wanting to keep your wheels in good condition and run them for a while without having the rims wear out, try and run a softer pad. I find that all the Shimano pads, the standard pads that you get, are all way too hard a compound. These are actually gooey brake pads, which friends of mine sort of have sworn by for a while, but unfortunately they seem to be increasingly difficult to get hold of. I'm going to be trying the Wiggle Lifeline pads next, because I use them on a full carbon wheel that I have, and the compound seems to be very similar to the aluminium brake GUI pads. Now, I know you're not supposed to change them around and use carbon with non-carbon, but I don't mind changing pads. I do not want to have to be spending money every year or 2 years on buying a new set of wheels, because I've rubbed the got a big groove worn in the rim of the wheel. That's no good for anybody. Of course, I could go with discs. Discs are becoming increasingly popular. Jury's still out on that. I'm not going to be changing my bike anytime soon. Possibly I might think and consider going to discs next, but that's a fair while off yet. Alright, so definitely if you're considering a road bike, a performance fit style road bike, then definitely consider the Scultura, and depending on what you're wanting to use it for and the spec that you want, you really won't go far wrong starting off with a 4000 series, and then maybe adding to it as you go if you want to, or crossing over equipment from like a other bike if you have it, or previous bikes that you've had, because most of the stuff will fit. As I say, particularly chain sets with that 68mm bottom bracket makes a big difference. Alright, take care everyone, see ya.